What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video, we're creating a sketch illustration of Joel Miller from The Last of Us. Let's begin today's lesson by sketching a line coming down the center of our page. We're going to start at the very top. Just going to lightly draw on this line coming down towards us. And then we're going to add another guideline going across from left to right along the top. Go out towards the left, and then we'll extend that out towards the right. Now we're going to use these guidelines to help us create a circle. From the center, let's go all the way up towards the top. It's going to mark off the top of the circle, and then we'll take that same distance down towards the bottom. So right about here, just going to mark that off. Let's do the same thing along the side. So taking that same distance towards the left and right. Now to create our circle, we're going to connect each of these points with a curve. We're going to start with the top left. It's going to roughly block in the circle. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, we just want to get the right size and shape. Now we can go back and just readjust the smoothness of our circle. Let's add a few more guidelines around our circle. We're going to start with the left side, just coming all the way down toward the bottom. And we'll do the same thing on the right. Let's add another line going across the bottom of our circle. Now I'm going to place the eye line in between that center line and the bottom. So right here, it's going to mark this off, go out toward the left and right. Now let's create a gap in between the eyes. From that center line, go out towards the left. So mark off the inside edge of the eye, move over towards the right with that same distance and do the same thing. Now I want to slope down the top of the eyelid. Starting from this point, we're just going to angle this down and out towards the side of our circle. Let's go back to the inside, draw a short angled line coming down and in. Now let's round out the bottom of the eye. From the outside, curve the eye coming down and then up towards the inside. Now it's loosely blocking the eyebrows. From this point, angle this up and out on both sides. Now I'm going to place the tip of the nose just underneath that circle. So right here, sketch out a small circle for the tip of the nose. And then from the side along the bottom, draw two short lines going out. Bend this up and in towards the top of our circle. From the tip of our nose, let's step down, just mark off the edge of the mouth with a straight line. Now let's move over towards the left, curve the lower lip, coming down and then back up. From the bottom of the lip, let's step all the way down and mark off the chin. Now from here, we're going to add some shape to the lower half of the head. Starting from here, just going to angle this down and in towards that mouth line. I'm just going to change this angle coming down and in towards the chin, towards the bottom line. Now from the outside corner of the nostrils, curve the mustache going out and then down towards that bottom line. And then we'll bend this out and then up towards the side. Let's go back up to the eye line. We're just going to curve the hairline going up and then in. Go up a little bit higher than that center line. And then curve this down and then up towards the right. Let's create that part on the left side. So bending this around and then up. Now I'm going to add a little bit more volume to the side of the head. Start on the top left, curve this out and then down. And we'll line this up on the right. And we'll bend this down and then in towards the side of the head. Let's tuck the ears in behind the hair. Come straight down and then bend that in. Now I'm going to block in the neck and the shoulders. From the jaw, I'm going to step in, draw two lines coming down the side of the neck. Let's go back up to the top, slope the shoulders coming down and out. Now that we have our rough sketch, let's go back and lightly erase some of these guidelines. Now that we have our clean drawing, I'm going to go back in with a tip or pencil and start adding some details and refining the shape. Let's start with the left eye. We start from the very top. Just going to pull the eyelid coming down towards the inside. And then just working our way across the top towards the outside of the eyelid. I'm just lightly tracing out the bottom of the eye and just tucking that up underneath. Now I'm just going to work in the placement of the iris and pupils. So drawing a half circle underneath the eyelid. Just lightly blocking this in because we may need to readjust this. Once we're happy with the placement, we'll go in and darken up the edges. I'm just adding a small highlight in the center, placing the pupil in behind, in the middle of the iris. And we'll darken up the top and just blend that down. Now I'm just going to work our way around the eye with some wrinkles and some shading. Now we're going to continue to add that shadow, working our way down the side of the nose. And just blending that out. Now we're just roughing in the eyebrows. Just getting the right shape using the side edge of our pencil. Using the tip of our pencil, we'll add some more texture to the eyebrows. And now we're going to leave the eye area and work our way around the nose, starting with the tip, then going out towards the nostrils. And going around the side of the nostril and blending that up. shadow to the nose. Now I'm going to use the side edge of my pencil to add some texture and volume to the mustache. Starting along the top, just underneath the nose. Just going to lightly work our way across towards the left and then the right side. Now going from the bottom, just up above the lip, and working our way up. I can use the tip or pencil to add a little bit more fine detail. Now I'm going to move out to the side and refine the shape of the head. Just going around the cheekbones. Now I'm just pulling these in a little bit closer. And just blending in those shadows. Just adding some volume to the beard. using the side edge of our pencil to add some texture across the hairline. I just want to capture the volume and the tones. I'll come back and add the details after. Now we'll go and start adding some more detail and shape to the ears. Just tucking this in behind the hair. Now as we get near the end, we're going to continue to add some more detail, and always be sure to sign our artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of Joel Miller from The Last of Us. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please make sure you subscribe because I'm posting new lessons every single day. You can also drop your requests in the comments below. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.